Season 5, episode 43. Today's episode, Little Red Book of Landlords. On today's show, we've got The Sun, The Times, The Daily Mail, and a speed round of The Guardian from person in the room who describes herself as the ideal candidate for doing The Guardian, as she is a middle-aged woman on HRT who does wild swimming. There she is. Right, we're going to start with The Sun because that's how we roll. Is the show even working? It seems to be streaming. Are people going to come? I know what I need to do. I need to put it in the Discord. There's a system. You'd think after these many months of doing this show that I would get sorted with the system, but alas, no.
It's not a system, Nick. The system.
Good day.
Reformed.
Good day, Gonzo Socialism. Coins, indeed. Good day to you and coins. I am quite irritated with the state of the rental market today, so you can expect that to be translated into the show, into a sort of endless howl of rage in the show. And the encoding is already overloaded. How? Why? Who the fuck knows? Well, anyway, good afternoon. Hi all, death to landlords, says Use of Weapons. Right. Starting with The Sun, front page of The Sun, top of the shop, Lady Gaga is nude. She was born this way, it says, indeed. Death to Landlordism, says Gonzo Socialism. Hey, Slinkamaya, how are you doing? Right, elsewhere on the front page of The Sun, top left-hand corner, Atalanta 2, Man United 2. Attaboy Ron. Ronaldo scored late in the game. Unfortunately, he is also a redacted. Main story, exclusive. ITV shows new peers. Yes. Richard Madeley is going to be the permanent replacement for Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain. The real world Alan Partridge, minus even a scintilla of charm, continues to fail upwards.
Is it wrong to say I think I prefer Piers Morgan because at least he had a tiny smidgen of intelligence?
Possibly, yeah. On page 3, that isn't page 3, Lisa Ribeiro is a Brazilian model, and she's wearing a bikini, because that's what models do. Woman doesn't wear clothes, says C122, H122. Good mid-morning Matters Britain is, yeah, exactly, that is what Good Morning Britain now is. Also on page 3, TARDIS exclusive, Doctor New, It's a Sin Omari is faved to take over. A little-known 27-year-old is the front-runner to take over from Jodie Whittaker in Doctor Who. Amari Douglas made his TV debut. We get this every time. Guarantee you it's not that. I've seen Blancmange with more personality than Madeley. Agreed, Gonzo Socialism. On pages 6 and 7, Bojo's hope as eco talks come to an end. Back of the net zero is the headline. Jesus Christ. Rich Madeley is one of the most gullible people in Britain. You could tell him he lives in France and he'd believe you. Yeah, pretty much. On page 9, exclusive, Tyler split after 7 years. Shock breakup with Beck's pal. Hollywood star Liv Tyler and David Beckham's best pal, tycoon David Gardner, has split after 7 years. The Sun can reveal. And why? It's their business. Who cares? On page 11, Lady Gaga naked. She's in Vogue, being nude. Slayhem. Parents snap up top toys in Christmas shortage fear. Apparently, the most wanted toy this year is the Barbie Dreamtopia colour change mermaid. And Robert Halfon says, a longer school day will help kids learn and may save lives. Oh, fuck off. On pages 12 and 13, Battle of Devil June. Brit troops in Mali gunfight, pinned down by terrorists. Attackers are blasted. And one of the troops told Jerome Starkey, the Sun's defense editor, it was F*** bad. Because we can write about death, destruction, rape, murder, all that kind of stuff, but you can't print the word fuck. Richard Madeley said about, Richard Madeley talking about giving the left a kicking a few days ago. That was covered in the newsletter. Scroll back through the archive and you'll see that. Longer school days are only going to make kids more tired and teachers less effective. I think so, Use of Weapons. I agree with you. On page 15, Jane Moore said, 400 jets, convoys of official vehicles. That's not a very green message. That's the most obvious fucking thing to say, isn't it? On pages 18 and 19, Freddie Flintoff says, I dance with a bloke on Strictly. I can easily pick up Anton. Oh, Shut up. On page 21, Dog Lovers 10k fun ride. My other car's a Rover. A guy has basically turned his car into a cartoon dog. And funny enough, it's not Ian Austin. A dad accidentally used super glue on his son's eyes instead of eye drops. The son wasn't hurt in the end. It all turned out fine. Headline of that, glue-eyed boy. Kids should work 100-hour work weeks so they have a rise and grind attitude, says Chronotherm. Bonfire night should go with bang, not whimper. Tips to keep your pets calm on November 5th. Or you could simply not just fucking fire fireworks from the start of November through to about the end of January. How about that? A rhino appears to give a piggyback to one of its kin as it wanders through a town. It's a optical illusion. The £2 million teapot, an 18th century teapot made for a Chinese empress, sold for 2.06 million. After Dame Helen's height admission, we measure stars in heels. Why Lady Gaga loves 9 inches, Holly just 3. Of course, the pun there is around dicks, isn't it? I'm not sure there are any 9-inch penises at the Sun, although the biggest penis there is Harry Cole. Use a weapon. Send kids immediately to war after the 3rd trimester, otherwise just lazy. C-122, H-122. Can people explain the Ian Austin thing? Yes. Yes. He really loves dogs. We're Pritchard enough for SAS. Brothers tackle TV's toughest. AJ and Curtis Pritchard are doing the SAS show thing. Who Do You Think You Are was on last night. It was Joe Lycett. Turned out he had some troubled ancestors. On tonight's TV recommendations, Landscape Artist of the Year Celebrity Special featuring Joan Bakewell, Stephen Mangan, Jim Moir, Rose Matafeo, who's excellent, Jesse Cave, also excellent, Rizzle Kicks, and there's some other people. Thomas Schaffernacker. Harry Cole's the biggest cock at the Sun. Yes, sorry, thank you for the correction, King United 2. I'm using C4 around the town. Apparently it's not allowed, but fireworks people are weak. Any Norwich fans in the chat? Yes, Dick, I am a Norwich fan. King United 2, no, yeah, I am a Norwich fan. Let's not even talk about it. Dear Deirdre, cousin bedded my festival lover. He's violent and prefers porn to us making love. We want baby, but sex is hit and miss. His kinky idea to make us happier. My husband would like to try a threesome, but I don't think it will fix our problems. We've been together for 20 years, but the past 3 have been rough. We aren't intimate at all and hardly speak to one another. He is 46 and I'm 47. He twists things to make me look bad. We were talking about our relationship and how bad things were when he said, I'd love to have sex with you and somebody else. I was so shocked. I don't really want to do it, and I'm not sure it would help. Well, it definitely wouldn't help if you don't want to do it and you don't have sex anyway. Best way to solve a problem like this, right into the sun. In Fab Daily, how to protect your kids from an Alice and Ewan a breakup.
That's still rolling on.
Yeah. In the sex and love section, it's about women talking about their sex lives and the menopause.
Oh, Jesus, the fucking menopause.
Jane Lacey Crane, 48, lost her ability to orgasm due to the menopause, but Jane, who has a daughter aged 16 and a 13-year-old son, who are no doubt glad she's talking about this in the Sun, says HRT has rebooted her sex life with husband Jason, 50, a mortgage advisor. Joanne, 54, mum of 3, Joanne Gunn, says menopausal symptoms left her feeling unattractive. She's gone from having sex 2 or 3 times a week to once a month. Joanne lives in Brighton, East Sussex, with partner Jonathan Smith, 52, a delivery driver. Stella, 74, who's postmenopausal, says she's better in the bedroom in her 70s than she was in her 20s. Stella, who's been in a new relationship for 6 months, is a wellness coach. Well, of course she is. And yoga and neo-tantra teacher. What is neo-tantra?
I don't know, I think it's more
From Camden, she says, the menopause meant I had to find new ways to enjoy sex. I have better orgasms now than I did in my younger years. And of course, there's a lot of talk about...
I can afford really good sex toys.
Yeah, there you go. Who talks about their sex lives in the Sun? What a strange place it is. Bin Norwich. No binning Norwich, Dick Pendrin. We're a pro-Norwich stream. Both the football team and the city. Follow back pro-Norwich, yeah. £50 letter today comes from Ashley Smith, who says, video message to the United Nations Climate Change Conference, brackets COP26, did not strike a chord, then nothing will. It was incredibly stoical of her to include a poignant... Listen, fuck this, right? The Queen is part of a family of parasites that waste money, that have tons of servants, that are just disgusting consumerist monsters, right? So read today's newsletter, which is about that. What's the industry insider take on tabloid letters being made up, Mick? I would say some of the letters are made up, and we can usually tell when they are, but not all of them are. And certainly with places like Daily Mail gets way more letters than it can ever publish. I'd say the Sun makes up the £50 letter most days, but I'd say most of them are true. Queen is tax cheat too, yet Queen also used Queen's prerogative to, Queen's consent, to get out, exempt herself from green laws. It's bullshit. In the short letters in the Sun, Steve says, "There's no such thing as a strictly curse, only people who can't keep their clothes on." Willie from Essex says, "Unbelievable. MPs want to delay work on smart motorways for more safety research after millions have been spent. Millions." Les from Norwich. Oh, God, come on, Les, what are you doing this to us? "Shouldn't Greta Thunberg be going to Russia and China? With her forceful language, she may change their leaders' minds." Alan from Cambridge says, "Why does Boris Johnson always put daft analogies into otherwise decent speeches?" It's sort of true, actually. "Congratulations on the wedding," says Broken Boy. Well, thank you, myself and person in the room. Appreciate it. Thank you, Geography Challenge. C122, H122, Queen has a non-son, yeah. Panic Future, I'm sure Xi Jinping was hanging on every word being ventriloquised through Elizabeth's puppet corpse. Queen delivered a good speech from beyond the grave, says Cronathan. Norwich's nest of climate-denying ableists. Dear President Xi, save us, liberate us now. Norwich is not a nest of climate-denying ableists. What? Relegate Norwich now. What is this anti-Norwich sentiment? Anyway, only snow globe tree. Yeah, here we go. Ugly, ugly thing you can get. You can get this. The snow globe tree. It is yours for £159.95. It's a Thomas Kincaid creation. Berry clusters, golden ornaments, and 8 Thomas Kincaid holiday images. China has lower CO2 per person than Europe. We did not lie about Buendia. Fuck the tractor boys, says C122, H122. Yeah, boom. That's Ipswich. Men's fleece lined waterproof parka. Yours from £35. And in the sport, he's run it again. Cristiano delivers. Cristiano Ronaldo saved boss. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's skin again. 2-2. Atalanta 2. Man United 2. Yeah, but... and then the main story in the sport, it's a perfect day for Levy. Happy as Harry. Kane set to stay and chase trophies with Antonio Conte. How many times have I done the Borat voice since the wedding?
Quite infrequently, to be honest.
Like once, maybe twice?
We're too busy doing
My wife.
We're too busy doing the League of Gentlemen.
Yeah, my wife now, Dave.
Yeah.
Right, now it's time for the speed round with special guest, Wife in the Room.
I thought we were going to be doing Wife in the Room for one day.
I
and
know,
then
but
had
it's
to
just
go,
for this
"Hi."
week.
Hi, I get to do The Guardian because, according to Mick, I am peak Guardian because I got up this morning at 7 o'clock and I went for a swim in the river and then we all sat around eating cake and we talked about HRT. So, it doesn't mean I'm a Guardian reader. I just want you to know that. Okay, wait a minute. Wait! I'm not...
I've got to put... Welcome to Marital Bliss.
I love him, really. And also, I don't have the receipts, so I can't take him back.
You know they call the Celtic versus Rangers game the Old Firm. They call the Norwich versus Ipswich game the Old Farm. Very good. How many times have you done the Glinner voice since the wedding?
We
Never.
saw him.
We saw Glinner. We saw him walking through the
live
cathedral
in
the other
Orange.
day.
We saw him. He walked past us and we pretended that we didn't know who he was.
Hi and congrats to Wife in the Room. They call the Norwich versus Ipswich game the Six-Fingered Derby. Yeah, I'm sorry, person in the room, but that is Pete Guardian. It is. Right.
Fuck off. I know it is. I'm not ashamed.
Three-minute
Guardian.
Guardian.
All right,
Three-minute
ready.
Guardian, and it begins Now.
Okay, on the cover, devastating fires of 2021 pinned on global heating. Turn your heating down. That is the main thing there. World's top banks vowed to fund shift to net zero. Yes, of course they do. Everybody does. Like, as if anyone's going to come out and say, actually, I quite like the warmer weather. All right, substantial capita payout to family of woman who died after benefits were cut. Well, it's a fucking disgrace. The Eden Project has done an installation for bees. That's nice. We like bees. We're a very pro bee stream. Follow bees something. Right. Bikes to replace horses after punch scandal taints modern pentathlon. So don't punch horses. So, which again, just seems like everyday kind of common sense advice. There is, because it's The Guardian, of course, there is like loads of coverage on COP26. Boris Johnson said something ineffective and shit. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody said, oh yeah, we're going to do more about the environment.
2 minutes. While
travelling to a city and causing lots of energy use. Jodie Comer, let Killing Eve die off without losing integrity. We stopped watching it midway through the 3rd season, so, you know, I don't even know what happened. Number 10 concerned is 4.5 million people fail to get booster shots. This reminds me that I have to book mine. However, the only time they are giving me to book it is a weekend when I'm away at a conference. But I will do that. Met officers who shared photos of murdered sisters told they faced jail terms. Fucking good. They should dismantle, please, the Met. Women under 35 found to be at higher risk of breast cancer spreading. It is the most common form of cancer in the world. 2.3 million people are diagnosed every year. Survival rates are generally good, but there is more chance of it spreading if you're under 35, apparently. Facebook to delete users' face prints over privacy concerns. Right, so this is my area of work. I do all that kind of shit around privacy and AI and facial recognition and stuff like that. And all I can say is we've heard this shit from Facebook before. So yes, of course they're going to delete that. Who knows what other fucking shit they have about you. And yes, I do have a Facebook account, but, you know, spread your privacy around. Make sure that no one can target you just to one thing. That's my really non-good advice. BBC Newsnight editor quits to lead Channel 4 News. Does she? Okay, cool.
Here's my Ren, she's pretty good.
Alright, Mix says she's pretty good. Man in custody after newlywed woman's body found in suitcase because men just keep killing women. Brilliant. Fucking disgusting. 15 seconds. There's a danger of Bosnia falling apart. You'd think that might be bigger news than like page 22. There is a feature on Mick's lovely friend Samira Ahmed. And he rates her highly. There's a whole thing that I will not get into because, quite frankly, I will lose my shit if I have to read about the person who rejects the internet and says that everything is terrible on the internet and that we should never have the internet because, quite frankly, that's bollocks. Yeah. So there you go. There's loads more, but who can be arsed? I'm going to go and read this internet thing and get angry.
Okay.
Is that alright?
Yeah. And in the sport...
like... I don't think Norwich are doing very well.
No, they're not. Thank you very much. Thank you, person in the room. Do give me a score. Facebook, more like arse books, says Dick Pendrin. Spread my pirates around. Guess I'll start an OnlyFans, says Chronotherm. Panic Future. To be honest, if it was a cop horse, it had it coming. So Facebook somehow knows where I live, despite my partner not using her real name or Messenger or the official Facebook app and using a VPN, etc., etc. They're lying liars who lie. ACAB includes horses, says Panic Future. Use of weapons end the internet. Replace computers with mentats. Recursive Rosie says probably a better place for your nudes than posting them on the timeline for your gran to see. C122, H122. Fuck the internet. Life was better when Freddo's was 10p. Right. Good. Now we move on to give me. If you want to give me scores for the Guardian or just generally, Finger of Fudge is better than Freddo's. I mean, this is a Finger of Fudge is better than Freddo's.
Well,
that's
enough to give the kids a treat.
Yeah, which is weird, isn't it? That now just it all sounds a bit Prince Andrew. Right. We're going to move on to the Times because we'd like a real heavy injection of cursed material here. Right, front page of the Times. The gilet style set. How to look country now. What the Times thinks looking country is, and what someone brought up in Norfolk thinks looking country is, poles apart, mate. Top story on the main section here. Top brass taken to task over bullying and spending scandals. This is absolute horseshit. Ben Wallace, Defence Secretary, is claiming that he summoned Army generals to the MOD for dressing down. He'll get them in. They won't argue with him until. Good review from Mrs. Streams, says Dick Pendrin. Curly Whirlies are where it's at. No, because Curly Whirlies used to be the size of a ladder and now they're very small. On page 3, Viscount wins battle to build giant toothpick for the Queen. It's like a kind of a... I don't know what... It looks like a quill or something. It's shit. No one looks good in a body warmer, says C122, H122. Agreed. COVID crisis far from over, says Sage Advisor as he steps down. That's why they're forcing him to step down. Waitress sacked for being too young, awarded £3,000. Good on her. Put down the Pinot. Benefits of single glass of wine debunked. Oh, fucking hell. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm going to drink however much wine I want and lie to doctors as is the British way. On page 5, athletes said student owed them sex. This is horrendous. You can see it on the front page, actually. University sportsman accused of gang rape. And one of the men in this group was admitted to Oxford Brookes University while still under investigation in the United States for 2 allegations of rape by a female student at an American university. He was later cleared. Stonewall drop from Health Department. Well, this is whatever. No, stop building shit for the Queen. Agreed. Pages 6 and 7. Philanthropists step in to boost funding for poorest countries. Simply pay your fucking taxes. On page 13, police photographed and mocked murdered sisters PC Dennis Jaffa and PC Jamie Lewis. Disgusting. Disgusting humans. As person in the room said during a review of The Guardian, simply dismantle the Met and then dismantle the entire police forces. Abolish the monarchy, says Gonzo Socialism, I agree. Spending power hit by high taxes and stagnant wages, claims Stephen Swinford. Train skidding through red light is probable cause of tunnel crash. Call of nature means payout for a distillery worker, yet this firm unfairly dismissed a man after claiming he'd peed near a whiskey barrel. There was no proof he had, and he's been near a whiskey barrel. It was Jack Daniels, could tell the difference. He's getting a large payout for that, £11,000 payout. Business travel starts bouncing back despite switch to video calls. Pay your fucking taxes, says Lincolnmeyer. Agreed. MPs told to wear masks in the Commons. Incredible they have to be told. Frankly, I think that Jacob Rees-Mogg should be forced to wear a gimp mask at all times. Heads must roll over cricket club racism, say ministers. And yet, Boris Johnson has condemned the handling of the investigation into racism. Boris Johnson, the writer of a racist novel who has repeatedly written racist things in national newspapers. Westminster School outpost ditched after China cracked down. One of the country's leading public schools has terminated a Chinese franchise following a clampdown on foreign teaching in the country. They shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. Use weapons. The only mask MPs should wear is the hood they give you before being beheaded in a Minecraft simulation. Gonzo Socialism says dividends to blame rather than lines. They should have paid towards upgrades and fixing rather than venture capitalists. Agreed. COP26 is basically rich people saying we should do better when if they just pay tax it would be over. Yeah. Do read yesterday's newsletter, which is all about specifically the royal family and their absolute bullshit around climate change and ecology. Did that not work? Newsletter. Why hasn't that done that? There you go. Here's my daily newsletter. Do check it out. It includes an anecdote about the fact that once when Prince Charles had a broken arm, he got a servant to hold a sample bottle for him while he pissed in it and then made him carry the piss around. Yes. Students keep fire burning for sideline Don. Basically, it's a Cambridge Don who was barred from lecturing because he made his lectures too interesting, pretty much. Dr. Piers Bursell Hull, who has lectured on the ethics and history of maths at university for 40 years, was removed from lecture lists without consultation. It prompted his acolytes to set up the Cambridge University History of Maths Society, covering subjects such as the role that maths played in the Islamic Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution and the invention of the telephone. Bursell Hall's well-attended lectures were removed after opinion in the maths department turned against him and his subject, according to the student newspaper Varsity. 2018, the state of Bursill Hall's lectures was downgraded from non-essential to not arranged by the faculty. Last month, the lectures were removed altogether. The Guerrilla Society was set up last week. Students said that Bursill Hall had broadened their horizons and given them perspective on a subject most often concerned with the abstract. David Bye, the Society's president, said the Don's lecture had been some of my fondest moments in Cambridge and were filled with hilarious jokes, witty anecdotes and jaw-dropping historical facts. But would those lectures get you a job? If not, the government's not interested, and certainly the university management aren't. Dick Pendren, I used to shout at the start of all lectures, don't you lecture me. There were big laughs, just out of shot. Croningham, STEM brain strikes again, yeah. Ban Cambridge says use of weapons, who's on a serious banning streak today. RAF pranks, this headline, right, this is another case, if you know, like when we read the headlines about the, like tribunals, and then it turns out that the headline is so screwed up, right? RAF pranksters in balaclavas took junior helicopter pilot hostage. Pranksters. An RAF pilot was allegedly taken hostage at gunpoint in a mock kidnap as part of a prank carried out by his colleagues. The Puma helicopter pilot, who was more junior than his crew members, suffered stress as a result and went off sick. They scared the shit out of this guy. They were equipped with balaclavas and an air rifle, which they did not have on board the aircraft, and pretended they were kidnapping him and taking the helicopter. The incident was reported to senior officers, and an investigation is underway. Fuck me. Ban Oxford, says Dick Pendren. Seriously, it's a danger city. Kathleen Stott went there too. All right. Red Arrow survivor, tired and distracted. An inquest is told about a crash. The unfortunately named Roger Boys says, the Uyghur plight is dystopian enough as it is. Matthew Paris says, I'm not a fan of Halloween, but this one was wizard. This is because he went to a house party organised by Petronella Wyatt, the former mistress of Boris Johnson and daughter of an ex-Conservative minister. In the Times 2, it's gilet time. We're not bothering that. Tired and distracted, so he was pissed off and played. No, basically he was just so stressed. Gordo Streamgood, how are you doing? Afternoon. Thank you very much for the belated congratulations. Gonzo Socialism, ban the red arrows. Panic Future, fuck Matthew Parrish. Agreed.
Do the bit in the Times 2 where Robert Crampton is patronising to the...
Oh, yeah. Right, I'm only going to do one bit out of the Times 2. They've got a feature where the columnists say who they would give £5,000 to in their will if they couldn't give it to their family or friends. And it's this is because Diana Rigg left £5,000 to the woman who used to do her nails. And Robert Crampton says he'd give the money to the man who runs his local corner shop. And it is the most patronising shit, right? Mustafa, not forgetting his brother Akif, has offered me friendship advice, opinions, banking facilities, lavish hospitality at family gatherings in outer London, and on several occasions, content for columns. He's let me use his basement loo at closing time when I've been too desperate to make the 2-minute walk home, having bailed drunk out of a cab. He has treated me to many samples of Turkish delicacies. He has kept me abreast of political developments in Istanbul. Best of all, he lets my family and a choice few friends run a tab. It once got to 4 figures. No one could accuse Mustafa's of being keenly priced, but he is honest as the day is long, and in his case, it's a very long day indeed. The man's immigrant work ethic is a lesson to us all. Honestly, fuck this guy. Yeah, oh my god, is that Orientalism's music? Oh yeah. Good afternoon, Ged Station, good to see you. Caitlin Moran says she'd give $5,000 to a man who told her she was clever.
Your favourite fetus columnist says he's giving it to his private library.
Yeah, I'm not even bothering with that. Tax on meat is bad solution to climate change, claims Alice Thompson. Hey, Geds. Birthdays today. David Armstrong Jones, the Earl of Snowdon, is 60. Adam Ant is 67. Lord Kenneth Baker of Dorking, the politician, former education secretary, is 87. Roseanne Barr is 69. Not nice. Dawn Butler is 52. Malcolm Sinclair, Earl of Caithness, Chief of Clan Sinclair, Foreign Minister until in 1992, is 73. Kate Capshaw, the actress, is 68. Then Air Vice Marshal John Ellis, Chaplain-in-Chief and Archdeacon of the Royal Air Force, is 58. Roy Emerson, Tennis player, Wimbledon men's singles champion in 64 and 65 is 85. Unai Emery, the football manager, Villarreal and Arsenal until 2019, is 50. Kendall Jenner is 26. David Julius, the physiologist, co-recipient of the 2021 Nobel Prize in Physiology of Medicine for the discoveries of receptors for temperature and touch, is 66. Dolph Lundgren, 64. Lulu is 73. Dylan Moran is 50. Dylan Moran is 50. Prof. Amartya Sen, the economist, is 88. Nick Simper, the bassist and co-founder of Deep Purple, is 76. Martin Cruz Smith, the novelist, is 79. Monica Vitti, the actress, is 90. Alison Williamson, the archer, Olympic bronze medalist 2004, is 50. Dame Anna Wintour, editor-in-chief of US Vogue and chief content officer and global editorial director of Condé Nast, is 72. Ian Wright, the footballer for Arsenal and England, both 1991 to 1998, and broadcaster, is 58. On this day in 1985, 2 French Secret Service agents pleaded guilty to manslaughter related to the bombing of the Greenpeace ship Rainbow Warrior in Auckland Harbour in July that year. The ship was in the area to protest against nuclear testing in the Mururoa Atoll, French Polynesia. Last word goes to William Blake, the English poet, 1799, from a letter. The tree which moves some to tears of joy is in the eyes of others only a green thing that stands in the way. In corrections and clarifications, we said in the headline that Danny Shrishkan Daraja, chief executive of Oxfam GB, was behind the decision to move a statue of Thomas Guy. While Mr. Shrishkan Daraja became a trustee of St. Guy's and St. Thomas's Foundation 2 months before the decision was taken, it is not the case that he instigated it. We are happy to make this clear. That was a massive story, and they get to hide that correction on page 30 in the corner. Ian Wright is great. Little known fact, Dolph Lundgren was named after his grandmother, who was in fact a dolphin. Says Dick Pendrin. Hey, SK the Crusader, how you doing? Death to Landlords. Redeem Hydrate, thank you, C122H122. 20 dead after bomb attack on Kabul hospital. Horrendous. Ethiopians urged to defend capital as rebels advance. QAnon faithful await dead JFK Jr.'s return. I fully want that to happen. SK's good. Quiet day at work. Excellent. Mustard. Delicious mustard. Moving on. Perjury charge for Solidarity hero who denied claims he spied. That's Lech Walesa, the former Polish president. They're basically claiming that he was an informer to the communists during in the period before he helped found Solidarity. He claims that's not true. They're now claiming, and he was found not guilty of it in 2000. Claims resurfaced in recent years, and he said that documents that claimed to show that he was an informer were forged. Now the prosecutors are claiming that handwriting analysis proves he was wrong. SK says he was 100% was an informer. So, yeah, Culture Minister called Walesa a cog in a machine that crushed millions and suggested that his collaborator codename he used in museums, be used in museums and textbooks. The acrimonious rivalry has led to Walesa being left out of government anniversary events for Solidarity. On the eve of presidential elections last year, Walesa told The Times that PIS was dismantling democracy and had undermined the rule of law so much that it was unfit to govern. Tea cake. Art museum boss on trial for spending €4 million on fakes. The former director of one of Spain's most eminent art museums is on trial accused of spending more than €4 million to buy, produce and promote works she knew to be fakes. Consuela Ciscar, who led the Valencia Institute of Modern Art from 2004 to 2014, is accused of spending public funds on at least 8 works attributed to Gerardo Rueda that were made by his adopted son after the artist's death. The prosecution accuses her of fraud to benefit Jose Luis Rueda, the son, who is also on trial with Juan Carlos Leledo, the museum's financial director. Among the works is a sculpture, Las Tres Gracias, the Three Graces, that stood until a few weeks ago outside the courthouse where the alleged accomplices will stand trial. Use of weapons. Literally all the post-89 governments of Eastern Europe were informers or mid-level bureaucrats. Literally just used the chaos to enrich and empower themselves. 89 was an inside job. Rebuild the Berlin Walls as use of weapons. C-122, H-122, just press the communism button. Plan to save moose involves killing them. Biologists in New England are experimenting with a new method to protect the moose wandering the backwoods. They have arranged that hunters kill more of them. Save the moose is what I say. Maersk, the shipping giant, says there's no end in sight for supply woes. Investors in Flutter Entertainment may have been counting their losses after the gambling group was forced to cut its earnings forecast, but punters went on a winning streak last month thanks to knockout blows from Tyson Fury and Europe's top football clubs. Fuck the gambling industry. We are a pro-moose stream. In the obits, Aaron Beck, the eminent psychiatrist who developed cognitive behavioral therapy into the world's most popular treatment for depression and anxiety. It's the world's most popular treatment because it's one of the cheapest. That's the reality. Thank you for following the channel, Nermoody. Alan Iggleston, the popular tall and fast Kent and England seam bowler known as Iggy and admired for his tenacity, despite the setbacks he faced, has died. He was just 57. Sir James Lester, convivial Conservative MP, that means he was a pisshead, whip and junior minister under Margaret Thatcher before she decided he was too wet. He has died. He was 89. What do I have to look at? Use of weapons. I'm firing it up. Hairdresser makes Boris Johnson hair mural as pandemic thank you. Thank you for what? Oh my god, this is the most horrendous thing. Please, people do look at this as a terribly cursed image.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and
That's a Doctor Who baddie.
The worst thing is it actually looks like him.
He does look like him because he's a human bin bag. Right. Moving on, they're still trying to get you to buy a share in a racehorse. This time, the racehorse is Fair Part Sivola, £60 per share. No. And then in the sports news, Yorkshire racism backlash. ECB apology to Rafiq as government minister says head should roll at county. Smith doubt to face Tonga in the rugby and Emery set for Newcastle job. Turns out, no. If you hit on use of weapons tweet, you'll see the disgusting Boris Johnson hair thing. Right. Now we are moving on to our final paper of the day. It is the Daily Mail. What part of the horse do you get? I guess whichever part you asked for, Panic Feature. Right. Daily Mail. Let's do this. Front page of the Daily Mail. Size does matter, darling. No, they're not talking about cocks. They're talking about heels. And this is based on one dumb study from China. Very suspect. Main story. How low can the Met go? Sick PCs admit sharing photos of murdered sisters. One of those rare occasions where a male front page where you go, yeah, can't really argue with that. But what they want to happen is not what we want to happen, which is dismantle the Met. And the other story, Diana star Kristen to wed girlfriend. Although they have to mention that she once dated Robert Pattinson. Like, who gives a fuck? That was years ago. Inside the paper, Oxford College to be named after airline billionairess as she hands it £155 million. Linacre College will now be known as Tau College. On page 5, you need to get the rot out once and for all, victim's mother tells Cressida Dick. Well, to get the rot out, she'd have to go as well. Matters for that guy who wants his partner to walk on him. Yeah, that's true. That's true. On pages 6 and 7, China crisis rocks COP26. What, the band? I haven't heard of them for years. MPs crusade to ban plastic wet wipes. Plastic in wet wipes. I mean, that's a good idea. Lord Bamford, chairman of JCB, also a Tory donor, but that not mentioned here. How I dug up a truly excellent green energy dream, it says. And of course, there are pictures of Boris Johnson. What are you eating? Oh, candy canes. Please tell us how, Simon. How does a pot marriage last 36 years? Simon Le Bon and Yasmin Le Bon are still married. Apparently, that's the story. Anti-Dick stream. Yeah. Gordo Stream Good. Since you've mentioned, I'd like to strongly recommend everyone watch Diana the Musical on Netflix. It's hilarious. On page 15, so did GP's Mr. U-turn jump or was he pushed? Says the head of the BMA who quit. All Oxford colleges should be called Tosser College, says Dick Pendrin. Damn, banning plastic in Keir Starmer, world's greatest wet wipe. Says SK the Crusader. I editorialised that somewhat. More stuff on the smart motorways. Sarah Vine is reliably fucking awful. Yes, on pages 22 and 23, various things about Heels, the guy who wrote Into the Sun, will be pleased about that. On page 25, Rupert Murdoch's wife, Jerry Hall, went on bargain hunt and did a shit job. No, Celebrity Antiques Road Trip. Same thing. She did a shit job. That guy who was suing his parents to support him, the 40-year-old man who was suing his parents to support him, has lost his case, hilariously. War Christmas is really getting out of hand this year. Bunch of knitted tributes to the fallen with the headline, across Britain, homespun tributes. We will remember them. We will remember them. Fucking hell. On this day, November 3rd, 2021, from November 3rd, 1930, the Daily Mail wrote, Haile Selassie the First, whose name translates to Power of the Trinity in English, was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia in a cathedral of St. George, Addis Ababa, yesterday. The 13-hour ceremony included a solitary vigil of His Majesty at prayer from 10 o'clock last night until 7 a.m. today. November 3rd, 1960. The uncensored affairs of Lady Chatterley and her husband's gamekeeper, argued about for 32 years but never published here, are due to go on sale throughout Britain. Distribution started yesterday, a few minutes after an Old Bailey jury decided that D.H. Lawrence's novel, Lady Chatterley's Lover, was not obscene. Happy birthday to Dame Anna Wintour, she's 72, and to Kendall Jenner, who's 26. Also born on this day in 1933, died 2011. John Barry, the York-born composer, won 5 Oscars and wrote the music for 11 Bond films, compositions he described as million-dollar Mickey Mouse music. Barry, whose father owned a chain of 8 cinemas, did his national service as an army bandsman. He was married 4 times, including to 19-year-old actress Jane Birkin for 3 years from 1965. Also born on this day, but in 1923, died 2021, Violetta Elvin, the Russian-born prima ballerina, described as the only rival to give Dame Margot Fonteyn a run for her money, joined the Sadler's Wells Ballet, now the Royal Ballet, in 1945. Born Violetta Prokhorova, she had to quit the Bolshoi when Soviet authorities noticed she was seeing Harold Elvin from the British Embassy. Clement Attlee intervened to persuade Stalin to allow her to leave the Soviet Union, with Elvin becoming the first of her 3 husbands. On November 3rd, 1990, the Righteous Brothers went to number 1 with Unchained Melody. In 2014, New York's One World Trade Center reopened 13 years after the Twin Towers were destroyed in the 9/11 attacks. Quote of the day comes from Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Colombian novelist. It is not true that people stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams. Also, they just grow old because of cell decay. Joke of the day. Why should you never tell a joke while standing on ice? Because it'll crack up. Thank you for redeeming Posture Check. Pick of the day, Shetland, 9 p.m, BBC One. As we've established previously, Shetland is not a real place. In the TV reviews, Celebrity Antiques Road Trip gets 4 stars from Christopher Stevens, no doubt hoping he can get a transfer to a News UK title. And It Takes a Flood, also 4 stars. Garfield and Odie are hanging out, and then in Chloe and Co, Chloe and her friend are in the bathroom, and her friend's saying, Sandra's new boyfriend's very cute, and Chloe saying, Peter, 34, non-smoker, works in advertising, drives a Mercedes. And her friend says, how do you know that? Ask me if he wears boxers or Y-fronts. Oh, God. Chloe. If you're friends with Chloe, do not introduce her to your boyfriend. That is the only answer. Fred Bassett's met another dog, a dog called Scruffy, and Scruffy looks a bit scruffy. There you go. Aging is a conspiracy, says Gonzo Socialism. Cell decay is liberal bullshit, says Use of Weapons. Use of Weapons. I forgot Rupert Murdoch married Jerry Hall. Imagine having him sling it in you. Oh!
Jesus.
Here is the poem of the day. It's called Binge versus Fringe, and it's by Jane Byrne of Harrow, Middlesex. I once had a brilliant hairdresser, such a super stylish she, but the downside was she was fond of a more potent drink than tea. When visiting the salon for her to do my hair, they searched high and low to find her, but she just wasn't there. I left the shop disgruntled and feeling quite downbeat, when all at once I saw her in the pub across the street. She called out to me and beckoned, and motioned I take a seat, and ordered me a glass of wine while she had a whiskey neat. She told me her life story, then it began to rain, so we both had another glass, then one more each again. At last we left, and home we went to hers to do my roots and trim, and while she worked and chatted, she filled 2 glasses to the brim. But when I looked in the mirror, I had a dreadful fright, for instead of golden blonde, my hair was green and white. I shrieked to her, restore my hair, she slurped, I really love to, dear, but first I have to rest my head, and then she slumped into a chair. Suddenly she started laughing, while crossly I began to tut. Then I too saw the funny side, my hair and she were both half cut. No poetry, death to poetry. King92, does Scruffy wear boxers or Y-fronts? Question from Mr. I. Austin. Banned poems, says Lincoln Meyer. Chronotherm, Chloe sounds like a hashtag top shagger. Gonzo Socialism, expunge rhyming couplets. Straight to the point letters. Elaine Common of Essex says, sorry, Boris, COP26 already failed when 2 of the biggest culprits had not bothered to attend. Julia Todd says, a carbon emission jolly in Glasgow in this age of Zoom. What a mischance to set a great example. David Butler says, if we stopped buying goods from China, it wouldn't need more coal-fired power stations. Elizabeth Price says, what is the carbon footprint of all the world leaders who flew into Glasgow and the emissions from their fleets of cars? Brian Best says, the US president has a convoy of monster cars and I'm supposed to get rid of my little Ford Fiesta to save the planet. A. Jarvis says, if we altered trade with the worst polluting country until it got its act together, surely that would speed up its wish to reform. David Harper says, after the trouble he had eating a bacon butty, no wonder Ed Miliband is urging people not to eat meat. John Evans says, unlike so many celebrities, at least Greta Thunberg admits she's silly. Les Curley, real name, Les Curley, says, if we're all doomed due to global warming, I'm going to enjoy myself while I can. Ho ho ho. Ban the alphabet, ban the Daily Mail, jokeified poem. Use of Weapons says that poem was sub-GCSE level wank, and Mark Canosis says, Prince Andrew, good late afternoon to you, Mark Canosis.
Also likes a sub-GCSE wank.
Indeed. Today's recipe, piglets in pancetta blankets. Sounds fine. Ban bacon butty, says Gonzo Socialism. Gordo Streamgood, I support a one-time increase in carbon output by burning these people in cleansing fire. Obviously, there are advertisements for cruise ships. There is advertisements for mattresses. A British washing machine. When you buy a British washing machine, you help the UK economy and get a great washing machine. Buy a British washing machine. Yeah, I'm not buying a British one. I want one that works. Les Curley is a Viz correspondent, 100%. And in the sports, Ronnie to the rescue once more. Yeah, not for everyone. Sponsors quit Yorkshire after Rafiq race route, and Conte checks in with Spurs. That is the Daily Mail. Give me your scores. For me, it's a quadruple negative nice. One of the worst papers going. Thank you for joining me on today's show. I forgot to upload yesterday's show, so there'll be 2 shows going up on YouTube today. Washing machine is full of piss, says Mark Canosis. Yeah, that you buy English, get piss. Right. Yes, thank you for joining me today on the show. There will be 2 shows going up on YouTube later. Do please check out the newsletter. Today's newsletter is about the Queen and just eco-hypocrisy. It's a quadruple negative nice for the Daily Mail from Slink and Meyer. A centuple negative nice British washing machines from Gonzo Socialism. A centuple negative nice from Panicked Future. If you like the show and you aren't subscribed, don't subscribe on Twitch. Or don't want to subscribe on Twitch but want to help the show, do chuck some coins into the paper fund. PayPal.me/Conquest of the Useless. I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. This afternoon I have to go and look at more houses because the landlord is making us move and we are not happy about it. Use of weapons says triple negative nice piss-filled washing machines. This has been The Paper Thing with me, the Broken Bottle Boy. If you're watching this on YouTube, do like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. It really does help. And thank you to everyone who tuned in live today. Back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Bye-bye.